The Faithful Journey, presenting David vs. Goliath, the anime. We open on a wide shot of the valley where the Israelites and Philistines are set to clash in battle. A large Israelite force is shown fleeing in terror as the massive army of the Philistines charges towards them. The camera pans down to reveal a lone Israelite soldier standing his ground, brandishing a small shield and sword against the oncoming horde. This is Jonathan, David's older brother, a warrior of Israel's elite fighting force, the 300. He stands firm, but looks back over his shoulder at the retreating Israelites, unsure of what to do. Meanwhile, the giant Philistine warrior Goliath continues to taunt the Israelites, boasting that not even their God will save them. As we zoom in on Jonathan, we see him contemplate his situation and pull out a small scroll from under his armor, which turns out to be a letter from David. It reads, "Don't be afraid of them. The Lord is with you." Taking a deep breath, Jonathan turns back to face the enemy with a renewed sense of purpose. But before he can charge forward, he's struck down by a spear thrown by one of Goliath's men. As the Philistines close in, Jonathan slumps to his knees, mortally wounded, and the camera zooms in on the letter from David, which flutters to the ground in the wind. Suddenly, the sky brightens, and a glowing white light envelops the valley. We pan up to see a massive crack appear in the clouds above, allowing the sun to shine through and illuminate the entire battlefield. Looking closer, we see a young shepherd walking calmly towards the front lines. This is David, youngest son of Jesse, and today's shepherd tending to his father's sheep. Unaware of the chaos around him, he hums a happy tune and skips along, completely oblivious to the danger he's about to encounter. A young woman dressed in tribal garments rushes up to David, breathlessly warning him of the battle raging behind him and the approaching Philistine army. She explains that Jonathan has been defeated and all hope seems lost. However, she tells David that the elders have sent word for him to come and fight Goliath. Taking the scroll from her, David reads the message, which basically says, "Hey, little bro, go defeat this giant so we can win the war. K, thanks, bye." After reading the letter, David merely smiles and tucks it away. Then he pulls 5 smooth stones from his shepherd's bag and places them in his sling. As the Philistines draw closer, we see that Goliath is easily the biggest and strongest of the bunch. Standing over 7 2 feet tall, he wears elaborate bronze armor and carries a massive spear, sword, and shield. Meanwhile, David's armor consists of nothing more than a simple leather jerkin, a pair of loose trousers, and sandals. Undeterred, David begins to weave his sling, taking aim at Goliath. In a last-ditch effort to scare the young man away, Goliath taunts him, cursing his God and challenging him to a fight. David simply ignores these insults, keeping his eyes locked on his target. The Philistines reach the edge of the valley and begin to pour over the hill in massive numbers. They form a wall of shields and spears, charging forward to take the Israelites' lives. As they get closer, we see that leading the charge is none other than Jonathan's killer. He sees David and recognizes him as Jonathan's brother. Filled with hatred, he raises his spear high and throws it at David, who casually ducks under it. Enraged, he charges forward, swinging his sword at David's head. In slow motion, we watch David raise his hand and release a stone from his sling. The stone flies through the air in a perfect arc, passing between the spears and shields of the advancing Philistines. Just as it would surely hit the man, he bends down to pick up another stone, and the rock sails harmlessly over his head. Furious, he throws his sword to the ground and charges at David, knocking him to the ground and sending his bag of stones flying. Pinned under the man's weight, David reaches back and grabs a handful of dirt. He throws it in the man's face, momentarily blinding him. Coughing and flailing, the big Philistine is disoriented and confused. That's when David grabs his sword and lunges forward. He flips over the man and stabs him in the chest. The giant stumbles backward, clutching his wound, then collapses onto the hillside. Panting, David removes his sword and watches as the big Philistine slumps to the ground, dead. The Israelite soldiers cheer as they see one of their own slay Goliath. Meanwhile, across the battlefield, the sight of their champion going down causes the remaining Philistines to flee. Realizing that the battle is lost, the surviving Philistines drop their weapons and surrender. With the war won, David returns home to Bethlehem to be greeted as a hero. Kneeling before King Saul, he receives a medal of honor for slaying the giant Goliath and is given permission to marry Saul, his daughter. As the people celebrate, David ponders his victory, realizing that it was God who gave him the strength to win. He knows that without faith in God, even the strongest warrior could never prevail. And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, I think that was pretty good. I mean, if I do say so myself, I really tried to capture the style of an actual anime here, right down to the over-the-top poses and special effects. And I think the voice acting really sells it too. I just love how over-the-top and dramatic it is. But anyway, the reason I made this is because I think the story of David and Goliath is such a great illustration of the power of faith. I mean, when you look at it, it's really a story of the little guy taking on the seemingly insurmountable odds and winning. And I think that's something we can all relate to. Life can often feel like we're facing a giant, whether it be a difficult situation or a seemingly impossible challenge. But with faith in God, we know that we can overcome anything. Just like David, we may feel like we don't stand a chance, but with God on our side, all things become possible. I also wanted to show that faith isn't just for the big, strong warriors of the world. It's for everyone, no matter how small or weak we may feel. I think David's story is a reminder that it is not our size or strength that matters most, but rather our faith in God. When David faced Goliath, he didn't rely on his physical strength or martial skills. Instead, he trusted in God to help him. And it was that faith that gave him the strength to win. So next time you're feeling like you're up against a giant, remember the story of David. No matter how small or insignificant you may feel, with faith in God, you can overcome anything. And never forget that it's not our size or strength that matters most, but rather our faith in God. Anyway, I just thought that was a really cool story, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.